Welcome back to We Are Live. Chris Denman, Carly Lawrence, Barb Lawrence. Look at Barb going to town. Pet One St. Louis West comes through and just wrecks shop with the bully stick and Barb. This is amazing. Gardner, you were saying she looked like a celebrity.
Yeah, I thought she looked like Triumph, the insult comic dog, because it made it look like she had a cigar in her mouth there for a moment.
Carly, do you have a insult the Triumph voice? Do you do that for Barb ever? Do you ever talk for Barb?
Yeah, she talks like this.
How
Is
did that
right?
develop?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Did you just
What's
look
the
at
origin
her?
story?
She's very timid and just...
Okay, hi. Hi, ma'am. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. Please leave me alone. Goodbye.
You're really going to town on that stick there, man.
Yes, I know. Thank you. Mind your own business.
A little bit of attitude.
Yep.
That's pretty good. You're a Chihuahua. Did you celebrate Cinco de Mayo yesterday?
Yes, I did. That's my culture. Thank you so much. No more questions at this time.
One more. What part of Hispanic area or Mexican area that is Barb? Barb doesn't sound very Mexican. Yet you celebrate.
You know what? I'm going to cut you off there. I'm really busy with this bully stick.
Barb, you're acting like you're a longtime hot chick, and I'm trying to talk to you at a bar. What's going on?
Like I told you, no more questions at this time. Have a good day.
I'm on Instagram. Stop.
Yeah. Follow me at Saved by the Barb.
At Saved by the Barb is where you follow Barb. Gardner, before we get back into it, I got to tell people about Getaway Carts. They support your movement. You guys support Getaway Carts movement. That's right.
Ooh,
Let's
getaway.
rock it out. GetawayCarts.com. Hashtag carte blanche. Hashtag customize without limits. Maybe you're cruising around Soulard with Barb in tow and you need a new cart. Getaway Carts is where you head. That's right. GetawayCarts.com for all your neighborhood golf cart needs, or if you own a business and you're looking for a fleet. Maybe you run the SLU facilities. I don't know. Maybe you own a giant hospital chain and you need more golf carts for the area. Make sure you hit up Getaway Carts. Great local business, supports We Are Live.
Carte blanche. For the preferred transportation mode of the Golden Girls.
If Barb got a sister, would you name her Blanche?
No, I've named her John Benet Ramsey.
Okay. Oh. And any explanation behind that?
Because I love John Benet Ramsey.
We shared a birthday.
And Barb and John Benet, I think it just works. Oh, it's going to be a wiener dog. Like, it's not even me joking. Like, I'm literally going to get a wiener dog and name it John Benet Ramsey.
Are we okay with this, Gardner?
Why aren't we okay with it?
It's morbid. It's a morbid story
It's like
about
if
a child.
It's like if I named my dog like Princess Diana. Like, that's endearing.
JFK or something?
Yeah, I could totally.
We had
I
some
could do any of
finality
it.
with Diana. We don't really...
John Benet and Barb. It doesn't have to be named after John Benet Ramsey. I could just be like, I named my dog John Benet, and people's imaginations can run with that.
Do you
and
see
make their own
Carly taking
assumptions.
like a dead serious stance on this? No pun intended. My mistake. That's not what I meant to be.
Whenever I hear her name, I just think of how we shared a birthday.
So you
August
make it about
6th.
you.
Well, it's where my mind goes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look up who's like celebrity birthdays, and I have like David Robinson, Dr. Alexander Fleming, John Benet Ramsey.
Oh, sure.
If people have a problem with it, they can just like call her JB or call her Johnny.
This dog that doesn't exist is going to exist.
Yes.
It's going to be a wiener dog.
Yes.
Why a wiener dog?
Because that's what
Great question.
I grew up with wiener dogs, and that's what I originally wanted when I first got a dog.
Let her see that.
But
Can we get a close up on Barb and
I ended
Carly?
up with
Sorry,
Barb.
Gardner. Not that I don't like seeing you on the camera, but wow, look at that.
But I am very lucky.
Oh no.
To have
Oh
Barb.
There it
no.
is.
Derek Dockett, if you
it
want to make
right
a gif
there.
of that, that'd be great.
That's it right there.
Oh my
Do
gosh.
it.
No. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Tongue for the cup.
Oh, that's a good one. Let's get
Hashtag
that going.
Well, okay. Gardner, back to camera 3. Barb, Carly, tongue for the cup. The bet was you put the bully stick in her mouth to entice her.
I did. That's what I was doing.
Oh my
Thank you for noticing.
gosh,
I tried to be
that's
conspicuous about it.
amazing. You lipsticked your lips. She treated it like chapstick. She
I
put
did.
it all
Just
over
put
her
a little
lips.
bit of a remnant.
And then yes,
Just a little bit.
to get Barb to
Just a
come
little bit of the scent.
for the let's
Just enough to get them
Oh
interested.
no! Oh no!
Do it. I'm your
Oh
mother.
no! So, like, when you go to bars, does that mean, like, depending on where you go, would you, like, sprinkle, like, cocaine on your lips to get the type of guys you're looking for? Like, how do you bring in a guy with that? What's the ballistic equivalent? If it was Gardner, you just put a little menthol cigarette over your lip, and he's coming right in. You hang a slice of pizza off your mouth, I'm coming right for
You
it.
know what? I would
okay?
also just use a bully stick.
Bully stick.
Why does
Because
this
they
always
probably
work?
because they probably have a dog, and I'll get their dog to love me, and then they're like, "Oh my God, my dog already loves her."
So ultimate Brady Bunch, but with dogs. So you've got, we'll say Jean Bonnet has
Yes.
joined the pack.
Yes.
What type of dog is your ultimate? You have to meet on a patio in St. Louis. If it's a St. Louis romance story, what dogs does the gentleman that you court have when you form the dog Brady Bunch?
Honestly, whatever dog.
I mean, really think about this. You're going to spend the rest of your life with this gentleman.
Whatever dog Barb gets along with, preferably another little dog.
Is that how it works? Does she get a little worked up whenever the dog's larger?
A little bit. She doesn't prefer it. But honestly, but then, like the other day when I took her to the dog place, there was this big hulking boy dog, like not fixed, like literally coming in there with its pheromones just spraying everywhere, and she perked up and was following this dog around.
Oh, she was like, what's up with those
Yeah, she's like,
things
"Oh my God, do I want to be pregnant? I think
Okay.
so." And then just following him around, I'm like, "What?
What
Who
was
are
happening
you?"
here? Okay. Now, was the owner acceptable for you?
I don't remember what they look.
You didn't give it a look. You were just
No.
worried about Miss Barb.
I was very concerned. I'm like, "What, you little slutty little slut? What's
Hmm.
happening? I don't even know who you are anymore." This is how your nipples got so big. I get it.
Okay, there it is. So if you're just tuning in on the live stream, Travis Terrell settling into New York. So Carly is kind enough to fill in today. Barb just got a care package from the great folks at St. Louis Pet Once West. We got that figured out, didn't we, Carly?
Yes, we did.
Barb and Carly
I'm glad
have a-
we did too.
Yeah, that was fun. Barb and Carly have a big week ahead with hockey. Did we catch baseball over the weekend, Gardner? I know we were going to chat just briefly about that. You do have the Wrigley scent that you were pushing.
Landfill,
as
yeah.
a cologne.
Yeah.
Had some friends up there over the weekend. The Cardinals got swept, but I don't know. I don't know how much we're paying attention to baseball at the moment.
Oh, I think there's some attention to it.
Anytime you lose to your rivals, I guess. Like
Yeah, especially when you were going in first place and then you leave and now they're in first place.
Right.
And one of those games you probably should have had. Their star player made sure you didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then things didn't go your way on Sunday Night Baseball as the nation is watching.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, not a great weekend.
Yeah.
Not a great weekend.
Not a good weekend in horse racing as well, if your name is Maximum Security.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
That
Did
was
you see
interesting.
it?
I didn't watch. I just heard
Well, we
about
didn't
it.
have our hats on. We asked that's your fair or foul topic.
I was at my local watering hole.
Do people get down on the Kentucky
Yeah.
Derby at your
Yeah.
watering hole?
And they
Mint
have
juleps flowing?
Yeah, there were. There were some mint juleps. It used to be when 34 Club was around before they tore it down to build Shake Shack. Rest in peace, 34 Club.
Did you see the
That-
disdain in his...
Yeah.
It was me and Doris Carter was her name.
Old Doris.
Rest in peace, Doris Carter as well. We would run the Kentucky Derby pool at 34 Club. And that is now carried over to Rosie's, our neighborhood bar. And so it always gets a large crowd in there for that event. And because there's some money being tossed around. And it's not like a bookie type deal. It's a
very classy.
It's a random draw. So you're buying in and you're getting a random draw of a horse.
So passersby can be a part of it.
Oh, yeah. And that's the key. Like, if anything's ever done, it's along those lines. It's supposed to be, hey, how can we involve everyone and not, this is not a serious, gambling endeavor. That's for other folks with bookies who have a nickname that probably is an animal of some sort.
Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an insect. That's how it works. That's how bookie's name goes.
Spider.
But we,
Ooh, Spider the bookie.
it was interesting to watch that because I'm standing next to a friend after the race. I went outside and was getting ready to have a cigarette, and then I heard some commotion and came back in and was watching the replays, and it became very apparent to me as I went to my friend, I go, they're going to take this away. He's like, you think so? I go,
Well, think
I
about
don't-
all
I
the
don't
people
know
that
how
had
they-
made money, man.
and I don't know how they can't right now. They're probably, to me, the reason it took so long was to make a decision. It was like just over 20 minutes, was simply because they were maybe trying to find a way not to do what they were about to do, but it was very apparent that that was the right call. And I read some stuff afterwards, saw some interviews the next morning with trainers of the horse that was impeded, actually. It wasn't the one who filed the protest, but he was the one that was impeded.
The horse filed the protest.
Hey!
Did you have?
Hey!
Wait, ask me if I had a good racing experience.
Did you have a good racing experience?
Nay.
Yeah, there you go. And
Ask if I have curious.
That was the only way I
Good,
could
ask
respond
me.
with nay.
This is-
right. Like what else? I mean, welcome to the show, in which I've been told to
it seemed
grasp tightly onto because I don't have anything else.
it seemed like they thought, yeah, that was the right call. It just sucked that it was on that stage and had never happened before.
Like boy, do I not care. But at the same time, when you start thinking about all the money and all that stuff, where it's just like, these are animals. Like, I guess
Yeah.
it's super important because if you get a horse that's just out there fishtailing and doing God knows what, like a teenager in a parking lot.
And I think what it did is they saw the domino effect that the move had that the horse made, where it cut over 3 paths.
Mm-hmm.
That it affected not just one horse, but once it affected that horse, it affected another horse, and then another horse, and then another horse. So at that point, I think that's where you're like, well, I mean, what do we do here? It's an unfortunate situation. Thank
Right.
God no horses fell during when that happened too,
Yeah.
because they did bump a couple times and the hooves didn't.
Hoof.
God,
Hoof.
that'd be scary as a jockey.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all 5'2" of them.
And it's in horse racing in
Would
general.
you date a jockey, Carly?
It's
No.
had a rough go, especially this year. Like Santa Anita has had some horses die, and
and that
the
doesn't-
last thing you needed was an incident in the Derby, where to begin with, it still doesn't make sense to me. Where you have 20 horses racing,
Right.
like that stuff happens. The bumping and that will happen when you have that many horses running. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And they put them down right there on the track too,
If
they
it's
snap
bad
a
enough.
leg.
Yeah, and that's happened before.
Right.
And I mean,
Why is that giant blanket being held up? Well,
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
kids
yeah.
turn away. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They cover.
nothing
They
you can
cover
do.
up
They put horses down?
if it's
on the
bad
track.
enough. Yeah.
On the track.
If it like hurt, wait, so if they get hurt,
Big giant animal, if it snaps its leg and it's like there is no coming back from that.
They'll
It's
usually bring
right there.
like trailers out to block and everything,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that no one
But
sees
it
what's going
happens
on.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the outrage came from, the California course, because the weather's been crazy. They've had to put down like 3 horses on the track in the last few months
Yeah, it was.
because they slip and
oh.
yeah, you don't. A horse is too big and it's too complicated in most 99.9% of cases it doesn't get a cast. Like there's no way to do
Wow.
it.
It's
What
so
are you gonna
weird,
keep
though,
it suspended in water or
because
something?
those animals, they truly are born to run.
Yep,
Like that's
absolutely.
It's what they are. Yet, like you take away just one of those one leg like that, and it's just everything else is screwed. It's ridiculous how they're built and what they're built to do. But you take away just one little aspect of it, how it impacts what their life is and life will be for them going. It's unfortunate, but you can just see it. And they are. If you're up close to a horse, and especially a thoroughbred, they're majestic.
Majestic.
Yeah, they are.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Close in on her, please. Can I get that very genuine camera over there? This is Carly camera 3. Look at Gardner, and then agree and
They
say.
are majestic.
Majestic.
Yes, majestic. Yeah, you nailed it.
I need the agreements in the camera, please.
With my camera,
Nope, Carly, look at the camera. Majestic.
Doing it.
majestic.
Majestic.
That's the funniest thing you've ever done. I just wanted to recreate it. It was great. How old were you guys the first time you rode a horse?
I never rode a horse.
the normal
I
thing.
was like 4 or 5 years old the first time my dad took me to the track. I'll tell you what. Anytime
great.
little Chris had a baseball tournament in Collinsville,
Oh,
Illinois,
buddy.
you knew where we were spending time in between.
We got hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I had a basketball tournament in Belleville. We went to the horse
yeah.
races. Yeah, for
I-
sure.
My dad-
Southern Illinois.
My dad actually was asking me what I wanted to do, what I planning to do for my 40th birthday party this year. And I'm like, oh, I was thinking about, maybe I can rent out a movie theater and get a personal viewing of National Treasure. And he's like, okay. He's like, but you can see my dad being suggestive. He's like,
Oh, okay.
well, it's on a Tuesday. Why don't we take a look at Fairmount? You want to go back to our little track?
Oh man, yeah.
We're
Our
little
old
Chris.
stomping grounds?
Little Chris learned what an exacta was and a trifecta and how to box horses, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that actually might be nice to spend my 40th with my dad betting on ponies, but
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Our friend over 1860 Saloon, Tom, the last few times we've tried to get together for a meeting, he's like, why don't you just come on Tuesday? The shuttle will leave at 12:15. We can just talk then. Tom, I got things to do.
You're trying to rope me into your
can't-
shenanigans, Tom.
I can't be hammered at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
at Horse Hooky Tuesday because I would be. He wouldn't make me. No one would force me. What the hell else do you want me to do? And watch a bunch of horses? And yeah, okay, I'll have another one.
Hilarious.
Oh man, before you know it, I'm passed out and covered in nacho cheese.
I did hear
And horse feces.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know what
I
happens
mean, I
at
don't
the,
know how
at
the
the
horse
tracks.
made it into that, but yeah, that makes sense.
I did hear, in the betting aspect of it, I did hear about a flip that happened, and I won't get into names, but it's
Lil Flip, the rapper.
It's not a person.
what I
It's a acquaintance of someone we all know. So it didn't happen to that person
Travis's
in particular,
Mm-hmm.
but someone that they know bet, let's say, a few $1,000s on the Derby. They like betting on horses. So they did not have maximum security who would have won the race in any of their bets. They would have just dropped for the day. It flipped. They take down maximum security. I think they had him finish 18th or something like that is what the final decision was. And it
Because he was
flipped
too fast.
after that, and that person is now $150,000 richer
Stop
today.
stop
So
it.
we,
Who is it?
so
Are they
we're,
single?
but yeah, great question. What kind of dog do they have?
Oh. But I heard a story about that, and I heard a rumor about it from another person, called another person and said, hey, is this true? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. So
He went from, well, that was a waste of $2,000
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
I should have bet that maximum security. And then 6 figures. And so you're going to hear
Wow.
stories like that. You're going to hear it reverse too.
Wow.
Like I had
Somebody was about to pay off their
I had a
house.
friend
and
who
then
wasn't- he
Instead, they
didn't
lost a finger.
bet a lot of money, but like it caused, several $100s it cost them on that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, I can't imagine what it was like in that 20 minutes at like a sports book in Vegas or something like that, or even at
Insanity.
an
Oh.
OTB in
Yeah.
Sauget. Like as you're watching what's going on there, I mean, because it goes from one of the favorite horses to win to a 65-1 that ends up taking it, and so I'm just like, oh my, I can't imagine what like that time frame was like, and the anxiousness and waiting for
It's really-
what that decision was. That's from the betting perspective of it all.
You hate to hear those stories, but sometimes some pretty drastic stuff like that happens too. That's associated. And again,
Yeah.
they chose to get into it, but
And we still, I know the owner and trainer right after the race, it seemed like they might pursue some appeals or some legal options. Maybe I don't know
Yeah.
if that's still the case. I think the owner gave an interview on Today Show, I believe, this morning. I haven't really seen the details
was
of it
Travis featured this
yet.
morning?
No, we should have had her.
Yeah.
So we were.
It literally, so the program we have, literally, if you have a phone with a camera, you can video in, right? So we're gonna need to get Travis out and about. I'm thinking.
Oh, we've had some discussions
Yeah.
on the
I'll take 5
possibilities.
minutes of Travis in a crowd outside the Today Show than I would 2 hours of him on the show.
I want him on the Staten
Yeah.
Island Ferry.
Uh huh. Where
doing
else?
The show. Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the park bench from where the old lady in Home Alone 2 was.
Right.
stuff like that.
Seinfeld
Yeah,
diner.
different landmarks.
I love this idea.
I think so.
But we got to
That means
find
more Carly in studio.
We really
too.
got to find places where he can talk is the key too.
But see, if he doesn't have someone there to like guide it, he'll just be like, I'm not saying anything. He acts like he's Mr. Man on the street, but he needs a little guidance.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We don't
I
want.
get that.
we'll work
He's
on that.
direction. I'm
Yeah.
the same.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little showboat, but
Yeah.
tell him what to do.
Right.
And then he's a dancing monkey.
There was
well-
a.
I don't know if that works.
Oh, that doesn't work. Like I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I am too.
Yeah, Carly Lawrence.
I'm done
everybody.
talking.
Yep, there it is. So wait, sorry, go ahead, Gardner.
I wanted to point out too. Once again, our fair or foul is Kentucky Derby hats. There you have it. Right
Oh my,
there.
look at that. Can you imagine that on Barb's head?
It'd be majestic.
Real quick. We don't have to dive deep into this, but there was a tweet about the Derby from the president. Said the Kentucky Derby
No C in Kentucky.
decision was not a good one. It was a rough and tumble race on a wet and sloppy track. Actually, a beautiful thing to watch. Okay? Only in these days of political correctness could such an overturn occur. The best horse did not win the Kentucky Derby. I agree with that. Not even close. That's probably about the only. I don't know how you got the political correctness in there. That's pretty impressive. Since you're just simply going by the rules. But I just wanted to point out, because the horse moved
There's a correlation to
past
be drawn here.
into another horse, so it seems as though the president still doesn't understand obstruction.
Hey, look out, Chris Gardner, everybody. Nice pull.
That's if I was writing for Jay Leno in the monologue.
What about the correlation to be drawn for he lost the popular vote but still won
Yeah, there's a lot.
the presidency?
There's a lot to look at
Like-
within that single tweet.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's been deleted now, actually.
Oh, really?
But yeah, there's a lot to kind of peel the layers away.
Unpack and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
unpack if you're-
dissect.
Yes.
But
yes.
like we're just living in his script at this point, right? He's like, who's your analytics guy? Twitter guy, analytics guy looks at it. He's like, a lot of people talking about the Derby, Prez. What do you got? And then he just tosses that out there. He's like, can I work political correctness into this?
Yeah.
It's just like
What's
it's
my agenda?
algorithm-based tweeting, right? I think that's pretty that understood. Don't get the PC part of that comment. Was the horse transgender? From Black Sheep. Oh my goodness.
There was a lot of, what happened? Did a black horse win?
Yeah,
There was a
exactly.
lot of that.
Or he doesn't.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
There was a lot of there was a lot of ways to go.
Uh huh.
So that's why you can appreciate a tweet like that, is because it leaves your room. If you want to be snarky, if you want to make fun of it, you have it basically you're almost a joke overload. Like cannot respond, because you're like, which angle do I take here?
Right.
Which way do I go with this?
Yeah.
The misspelling, the political correctness. How do I go topical? Like you have to calm down for a moment and actually think, I just got to go with one way.
Well, that's the
try
thing.
because you put too much in there, then it's just going to be a jumbled mess.
I saw I don't think he really even he mentioned him briefly. I saw Jim Jeffries Friday night at Stiefel Theater.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to his opener Forrest Shaw for the hookup there, and it was Forrest Shaw, and I can't think of the guy's opener. He's very fun. When you're Jim Jeffries, you take seasoned headliners as your openers, right? So all the comics were super funny. I think there was only like a couple little Trump comments here and there. Mm-hmm. But even though if you're Saturday Night Live, I get tired. It's not that funny anymore, whatever, with the Trump stuff all the time. On our own show, it got to be really tiresome, just like everything. But also, how do you not talk about this stuff? Because it's so out there. It's so polarizing. It's so absurd, even whether you follow him or not.
I think you pick
gotta
your
tell me
spots now.
You do. You have to, because I know I was like, man, I sat through a 2+ hour, probably 20 minutes too long if you had to trim it down. I sat through 2+ hours, and I think there were only 3 minutes of Trump-related jokes, and one being an international comic known for pushing buttons. I think that speaks volumes to it. You got a crowd of 2,200 that'll eat out of your hand, and you don't go to lean on that.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
I think you pick your spots. That tweet being one you take advantage of.
Oh yeah, and then if somebody yells at you like respect him, even blah blah, it's like, well, no, this is the president. I can laugh about a misspelled ridiculous tweet, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what side you're on. I mean, that's
Well, that's just absurd.
funny.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You take it. All right, you say, "Oh, I've been waiting for this."
I would do
like
it.
I passed a few others up waiting for this. I'm taking advantage of it.
I did it with Travis when Obama would pick the NCAA brackets. I'm like, oh, I guess he's done everything better to do. He's hanging out talking basketball. Huh? Like, yeah, it's the same damn thing.
That was your spot.
Yeah, exactly. And then the Kenya thing was just because of personal choice, and I bring that up every time I got a chance. Yeah. Gardner, you've been on top of the political shenanigans in the local area, not necessarily the presidential side. Your boy, sting operation is what you've called it. Hashtag
Oh, yes,
sting
yes,
operation.
yes.
This is, Carly, I have no clue how much you keep up with this stuff. Locally, the guy who's going to be tabbed as the if the county and city merged, under a certain plan was going to be the mayor of New St. Louis or St. Louis Metro, like where you combine the county and the city and all this stuff. He is pleading guilty to pay-to-play charges. Is that right, Gardner?
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty wild because you see him. He hires the most well-regarded defense attorney in the area, and you usually, for me, when you see political people get mixed into stuff, I'm like, they're going to plead out of this. This is going to be a no-go. The Greiton thing was a 6-month saga that turned into he resigned. Like, there's no punishments, right? So, Gardner, did you happen to see this? And I didn't know. You are the most in tune with this stuff because you find it to be hilarious, I think. But
yeah, I mean, well, I like to find ways to entertain myself with it. And at this point with him, it's weird that it all happened so quick. It happened quick with Greiton's. Like one day it was like, bam, he's resigning, and you think he had momentum going his way. And now with Stinger, it was like, oh, yeah, he's being charged. He's resigned. 4 or 5 days later, he's pleading guilty. Like, it all happened so quick.
Right.
Is the thing that I've taken notice with.
the freakiest part about this stuff is we're a big little city. So, like, sorry to bring the Blues into this, but this guy was, like, probably at a Blues game recently. Like, you probably walk by him at the Cortex. Like, these are all these things. And then you don't realize the magnitude of these people's positions and how they're involved with things where it's like, this is very serious.
It's weird, too, that some people, Jeff Smith, former...
We've put Barb to sleep, by the way. I just wanted to note that. Did you give her some of that Pet Once balm?
Not even a little bit. You guys are just that boring.
Yeah, sorry.
I think it's...
No, I agree.
I think it's weird how some politicos have found a way to make themselves relevant again when something like this comes up. Like Jeff Smith, for example, who did go to prison for an issue he had, but it was a short stay, I guess.
Carly
It
did
is
a little
prison,
time in
like
the
a year
90s.
or something like that. But then he goes and is writing a book, has the book out, and then he becomes relevant to news stations because he's a political figure that has gone to prison. So what is it like for a political? So he becomes relevant because of that. So it's weird seeing how this, like, because part of the thing for Stinger now is you think he's probably going to do some time, it seems, at this point. Mm-hmm. That's what it seems like. There's no guarantee. But so what is next? The thing is, like, what's next? How does he make his next play, his next con, if you will, for him, maybe?
It's like that Fire Festival
Like,
guy.
is he going to write a book? Yeah, well, like Billy McFarland. He's got a book.
He's writing his memoirs.
Yeah. Prometheus.
Yeah.
He's doing
the God of
all
Fire.
the things from prison. Like,
Boy, yeah.
So obviously the next step for people like this is, okay, book deal. Book deal is number one. So Stinger should be like, right now, okay, well, this is going to happen. We should start already shopping the book. Who's going to help write it? Like, that's what I want to pay attention to, is kind of the sideshow stuff with it at this point, because I find it just, I don't know, weird and fascinating in a way that this is how it kind of goes for people now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like Chris Correa, the Cardinals executive who got hit and put
gave away
away
some
for a couple
proprietary
years.
information.
Like, what if he came out with a book? I mean, can you imagine, like
How to use analytics on your prison softball team?
yeah, I mean,
Like, what do you do?
like stuff like it's just like it. People,
Carly, would you form a dance gang if you went to prison?
what?
Would that
of
be your-
course, I would form a dance gang.
That's your saving grace.
Why
You're like,
wouldn't I?
what do I
Yeah.
have to offer these women?
It's like people that aren't hardened criminals necessarily. Like, they're not violent physically or anything, but have done stuff to harm people in other ways, their move
Like
is
us putting Barb to sleep.
their
right
move
now.
is always like, it's a book deal, or it's like, I'm a commentator now, or
Right.
like they have people from Watergate, doing stuff now on political shows, and it's like, hey, we're all involved. Well, yeah, they know the best.
I don't get it.
So I mean, what?
And we'll eat it all
It
up.
tells you a lot.
Right. That Tim, the referee from the NBA that was
Donaghy.
betting on games, Tim Donaghy, he put out a book. Everybody's like, wow, this is interesting. This guy's a scumbag. Carly dated him for like a month.
Yeah.
Were you in the?
I got catfish.
Don't
were
bet
you?
on
Were
it.
you in the? What's that?
Don't bet on it.
Oh no. Were you in the NBA whenever he was pulling game stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you know what
I
we're
didn't
talking
keep
about?
up with it.
It was a referee who was literally helping people throw games.
Was it in 2016?
Oh, probably. No, more like 2012. Everything
I was
feels
there
like it
2012
was.
to 2016, so yeah, we probably overlapped.
Did you maybe trip a player as part of the deal? He's like, hey, get in on this.
I might have done that, but I also
Right.
signed an NDA not to discuss it. So.
Wow. Okay, Carly. Maybe that's why Barb's playing so coy over there. This poor dog. Travis in the comments. Thanks again, Travis. Says Barb got up for this shit. Wow. That's,
Barely. I mean,
fair.
as you can see, she's not all here.
It's working out well. So yes, Gardner. So congratulations to you on sting operation becoming.
Well, I didn't do anything.
Even,
I just followed
I didn't do
along.
anything.
I
You're
guess
right, you didn't.
this is actually really ridiculous to talk about because I've actually ran into the guy several times. Did you guys see the Del Mar Loop hammer attack thing?
No.
A guy got in trouble for attacking people in the Del Mar Loop with a hammer. Turns out, and I don't know if you want to call him a comic, for sure, I've seen him perform in competitions around St. Louis, stuff like that. Turns out he was the guy. It was a guy who's done some comedy around St. Louis, had a history of this, but it was just, it's crazy. He is not a small guy. I want to say 6'1", 6'2".
Why was he doing that? Was he being funny? Was he trying to be funny,
No, no,
or
no.
was he
It
being
was a real
serious?
hammer. It
Like
wasn't. It
trying
wasn't
to,
Gallagher.
trying
He
to
wasn't
hurt
smashing
people?
anything. Hit people, hurt people. Yeah, they're like.
What was his
it's
name?
bad.
Let's call him out.
It's in the paper, and it's Ken Canamore is his name. But he was charged. They found him because he got away from the scene. But like, wow, how crazy! You maybe seen him around. It doesn't come around a ton, but apparently
I've
there was
probably
a.
seen him once in a while.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Wow.
Yeah, there he is on his thing. This is actually awkward to discuss.
What in the world is wrong with people?
I don't know. Yeah, you got to think. You automatically think like, there's something else going on there. It's not just.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Who
that
hurt
was.
you?
Yeah, that's
Ken?
hurts people. Yeah, not good, everybody. Gardner, you don't have any cute hashtags for that one, do you?
Not currently.
Okay, good.
We can develop one.
We'll give you time to brainstorm.
Let me see. Thor's hammer. Something with the Thor's hammer. Hammered.
Hot guy with a hammer?
Hot guy with a hammer. Hammered. I would
Where do you
thought
guys-
showered starting there and then move
Uh-huh.
on.
Where do you guys stand on this, given that he had an issue like 10 years ago where he attacked another local comedian that
Yeah.
lived with him at the time that people know? So it's very personal to a very tight-knit community, the comedy community in St. Louis. Where do you guys stand on like cracking jokes to deal? This is a really weird thing. I feel very awkward. I've talked to this guy before. I've seen him perform. It's one of those things where it's like you feel it, but immediately I was like, well, it's a good thing I don't like prop comics. Like that's all I could think of. Like that was the thing. And then, but it sucks because when you're
yeah.
close, you should be able to remove yourself and joke about something terrible like that. And especially if you do a stupid podcast 5 days a week in a weird city. But where do you guys stand on like, can we joke about that?
Well, I think if you're allowed to have
Barb, your thoughts?
a broad area,
Like a woman?
a broad area in which to operate
Like a
with
lady?
comedy,
Right.
and you're often not associated with a lot of the subjects you're making fun of.
Correct.
Just because somebody else might be. And so, like, if someone takes exception to something like that,
You
you
gotta
say,
be
and you
prepared to
say,
deal
hey,
with it.
this is comedy. So if it becomes personal to you, I mean, that's just basically flipping the script right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it should be fair game, it seems.
It should, yeah. But then it's
If
just
that's
that weird thing.
If we're trying to, are there unwritten rules of comedy? I guess that's what I'm getting in. Like,
I don't know, Carly.
like if
you're the
we're
only one who
following
does
the
it.
etiquette or rules or whatever you're trying to put out there, that it should be okay just because of how you would expect other people to react if it's something
If this
personal
happened in
to
Los
them.
Angeles and the guy ran into a busy area, we would not think twice about that. Even though
Making jokes
people
about it.
even if people died, that happens. I mean, you have Gilbert Gottfried, who we've had on the show, making jokes 2 weeks after 9/11.
Yeah.
Blocks from it at the roast of Hugh Hefner, and I didn't take exception to that. I was like, yeah, that's how you deal with stuff, right? I don't know.
And
It's
the thing
interesting.
with him was he, of course, famously in the Aristocrats, saw the crowd wasn't responding to what he was doing,
Right.
and was able to turn it into something else. That's another thing too. I guess just reading what's happening as you're going there.
That's the thing. You can make jokes about whatever you want, but if if the crowd's not responding to that, that's a risk you're taking for yourself. But
Yeah.
I think everything is kind of fair game. You never know
Yeah.
who's going to be offended by what. I don't necessarily take risks like that.
I think people should take risks if they're at the appropriate level.
For
If
sure.
you're- Yeah. I
you're
don't.
and if
comfortable
that's
with
their
it.
style, don't
Yeah.
just do it
Yeah.
just
Right.
for the
And
shock
I've
of it.
always said-
It's like, dude, you've never joked about anything but Cheetos and going to see a movie.
Yeah.
Now you're commentary on violent
What?
attacks.
Like why? Yeah.
I've always
exactly.
said it's just you got to do very well with it if you're going to
Sure.
do that. Because if someone comes back at you, you have to expect that.
Especially in an
You,
area
you
like
have to
we're
be
in.
skilled enough to be able to take that risk to begin with. If you're not, and someone pushes back at you, it's not PC culture or anything like that. It's you
This
just
is
weren't
life.
good enough
This is life, yeah.
to turn it
Or it
into
could
something.
be really good, but there's somebody that's going to take exception because,
Yeah.
it sucks. If they're, listen, we all enjoyed the Fire Festival thing. Someone lost their livelihood for that, right? Like, that's how that stuff goes. What about Meredith? Let's judge her. His comedy toolbox didn't serve him well. That's Meredith, everybody. Absolutely terrible. No,
Okay,
that
that's
is tough.
fine.
That is. I think you see it even at the
Yeah.
highest levels. I would argue,
That's funny.
despite having Derek Gould, who will talk to anyone about anything and say the truth about whatever, I also see points where people want him to barb at people. No offense, hon. But you have these things that happen, like even in St. Louis, it does not serve you well to drudge up or go after certain things because the Blues, the Cardinals, whatever, I'm not even saying they're vengeful or anything. You got to go look those people right in the eye. It's not Boston where there's 40 people in the press box. There's 17, right? People are right there in front of you. So it's all about the choices you make, right?
Yeah, you're held accountable. Like everyone's held accountable in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're talking specifically with Derek. He's at the ballpark every day. If he says something or writes something, there's people there that will say, "Hey, I have an issue with what you wrote about me or whatever." And
To his
vice
credit, he'll
versa,
stand up for it.
he'll well, here's what it is. You know,
Right.
Or he
Joe
can
Strauss
go
is
and
amazing
see,
at that.
Yeah, and so I mean that's the key for accountability is that everyone's there. And if there's an issue, it can be face to face.
Correct. Travis in the comments, again, what are you doing with your time? Why do you go to New York to comment on your own show's Facebook
So maybe
comments?
had some like
This is Travis saying he
Jamaican
worked today. He's
joint-
like,
he
I don't know if
was-
you saw me contribute.
Yeah.
tweeting about, oh yeah, there's Jamaican food everywhere. Yeah, you're in Queens, Travis.
Right.
There's an area called Jamaica, Queens. That's where St. John's University is.
What are there? 10 Jamaican restaurants in St.
Did
Louis?
you not
He's never brought
research?
Jamaican
Do
restaurants.
your
in here.
research,
Do your
Travis.
research.
That's
Check
like
it out.
when I lived in Memphis and was like, oh my gosh, why does everybody have Cardinal stuff on? Hey. Yeah, the Triple
Yeah.
A team's there. Like, shut
Right.
up.
He has no idea what he's doing.
Culture yourself.
What yes.
Yeah, Blackfish.
Give her a camera 3 rant. Can we get a
Okay,
camera
yeah,
3
let's do
rant?
that.
Yep, let's
well,
do
that
that.
was it. The rant's over.
Well, no,
Wait,
you
wait.
just scream it at
Do
her.
it
said
one more
my
time.
piece.
Okay, go ahead.
Where do I start?
Culture.
Hey,
yourself.
y'all, I'm in the comments. Jamaican food every day.
Am I Travis right now?
No.
I love Jamaican food. My name's Travis.
No, you're telling him to get
Oh.
cultured. Remember?
Yeah, Travis, you've been in New York for how long? How long has he been in New York?
12 hours.
You've been there for 12 hours. You've had 12 hours to experience the culture, immerse yourself in it, meet the people you need to meet. Like, why are you not best friends with the owners of these Jamaican restaurants yet? Why are you acting like it's a new thing? Like, you're new to their city.
Nice.
Have respect for them.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And
Do
then-
your research. Use Google. The
One
internet
more.
exists for a reason. It's for you to find out that there's Jamaican restaurants in New York before you land in New York.
Tag it with get cultured. Period.
Hashtag get cultured.
There it is. Carly Lawrence, everybody.
Travis
From
Tritt.
Ty in the comments, I disagree. Bill Burr said it best. When comedy today is like a walk-in closet, you run the risk of people being offended or wanting to be offended over the smallest shit. Comedians don't have the luxury of, hey guys, this is what I meant. Yeah, you could fight back with that, but you also got to remember, like, that's what we're dealing with too. So hopefully people at your shows understand how it's being used. Context super important, but that's how it goes. Travis says she told my black ass. Meredith, this is what happens when people don't communicate well about what they want in the bedroom. She wanted to be hammered. He didn't. Okay, damn it.
So
Meredith's
going
really
there.
using
We are
us.
going there.
Yeah, so we're a coffee shop to Meredith right
Meredith's
now.
like,
She's like,
This
I
is
got
good.
this.
This is
Yeah,
good.
I actually do enjoy that quite a bit. MC Hammer getting a lot of play with this. Thor getting a lot of play with this in the local comics. So yeah.
Too legit to quit. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's some. MC Hammered.
there's possibilities. There's
Break
many
the Hammer.
possibilities.
Valentine.
Sam wants us to play Make It Racist with Carly and Barb.
I don't think that's how that works.
That
I don't think
sounds
so
like I
either.
shouldn't involve myself in
You know
that.
what I want to bring back because I loved the segment so much whenever Carly was on regularly for the radio show. We had a segment called Love or Basketball.
Yeah.
And I think it would be way better now. I think we're all better. And I think it would be really fun.
I
Where
forgot. How did we do that?
So here's how it went. We had X amount of reality, just horrible trash reality TV shows. And you would have to pick between that or an NBA game.
Or watching it.
Which you would
Okay,
watch.
that's right.
So it
oh
was
yeah,
Love or
because we would say
Basketball.
what was on at the same time as
Yep.
that game. That's what we
Yes,
did.
and this was
Okay.
the conversation we had every week when she would have the She's like, now what is this again? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't really know, but here's the idea. We've got a little bit of time left before fair or foul. Get those in wall at weareliveradio.com. The topic today, Kentucky Derby hats. Yeah, little thimble with a flower coming out of it for Barb.
Yeah.
Make that. You can win $10 to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill.
Thimble.
Couple more things we need to get to, very important to get to. Gardner, I feel like this is a Gardner story if I've ever seen one.
What?
There's new Crocs out with a fanny pack attached.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into that story.
Okay,
I just
so
threw
let's
it on there.
What?
let's get into that tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, sounds really important.
I saw the headline. I'm like, I'll put that on the rundown. We might need that.
Would you wear Crocs with fanny pack attached?
Yeah.
By Jack should make that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I wanted to point out one thing real quick,
please.
just because this time of year I like to bring this story up and just remind everyone about how old-timey baseball writing used to be, just
Okay.
the tenor and how it was used, and how, oh, that's enjoyable and weird to listen to, or like when you read it back in your head, have a voice in your head, you know, that old-timey voice. But also just how bad it was, too, because they would bury the lead, it seems, at times. This story I like to bring up this time of year, where this headline was in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch back in the early 1900s.
Oh, no.
On May 5th. On May
Fire.
5th, so Cinco de Mayo. Fire stopped a lovely game.
If it was spelled
That's the headline.
If it was spelled with a Y, would Ja Rule have showed up?
I know. Score was tied when alarm was raised. Grandstand burned down. Today's game will take place at Athletic Park. So that's your headline in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I think this was I don't know if it was 1904, 05, or 06, but it was one of those 3 years, I think. This was in the Post-Dispatch. This was the headline. So you think fire, okay, burning down the grandstand is how you're going to write your story, right? That's the number one thing to talk about in what happened here. But no. This is old-timey baseball writing. P. Donovan and his co-adjuting Cardinals endeared themselves to the local fans yesterday by the article of the ball they put up against Bid McPhee's delegation from Cincinnati.
This is a good voice by Gardner.
Young Hopper occupied the box for the locals, and for 10 innings, his mighty right arm sent over a selection of slants that kept the heavy-hitting Reds puzzled. He held them down to 7 scattered hits, Crawford being the only man to touch him hard, and he put one into the right field bleachers in the 6th, making the circuit. In the last half of the 10th inning, with Wallace, the first man up, reaching first on a single, and Childs at bat, the homeboys looked like sure winners. But a terrible fire, which destroyed the entire grandstand and pavilion, stopped the game. That's at the bottom of the 3rd paragraph of the story. Now, I love the old-timey writing, but your lead should probably be the fact that a fire burned down part of the ballpark.
The entire grandstand, it says.
Right. So you may focus on the fire and the negligence in which it was reported. I focus on the complete 180 that the term homeboy
Yeah.
has made.
The homeboys look like sure winners.
That's amazing. Huh.
I channeled the movie. Have you ever seen the Hudsucker Proxy?
Probably.
I missed that one.
It's got Tim Robbins in it, and is it Jennifer? What is it?
Garner?
Jennifer something
Hudson?
Lee.
Yep, Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer something.
Love
Lee.
Hewitt?
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Jennifer Jason Lee. Yeah, I think that's. And she's got that kind of voice when she's like a reporter. So that's what I channel when I think of that story. Old timey voice. Like the adjectives they use, like how they describe things. It's colorful. A home run. Making
Colorful.
the circuit. Making the circuit.
The lovely
But-
game part.
A fire stopped a lovely
Like,
game.
how
But
dare
maybe-
that fire ruin our lovely
Yeah,
game?
we were fine.
How many-
It's weird that your lead is in the bottom of the third paragraph.
How many of those ball players had to go work at the stable or mechanic shop because the paper reported that a fire took, back then you had to have like regular jobs too. So how many of
Oh,
those
yeah, I
ball
can't even
players
imagine what
were like
those jobs
pissed when
were.
it got reported because they thought they were going to have a couple days off or they didn't have anything to do,
Mm.
and their boss is like, "Get down here, this ditch isn't going to dig itself."
Well, and then I don't know if this is at the time that Chris Vander owned the team or not. He was the first owner of the Cardinals. But his story in itself is something. He was kidnapped by someone at one point. And I don't know if this fire in particular is the one that was in question. At one point, they thought that he set fire to something to get insurance money.
Usually happens with restaurants in modern day.
So he was a bit of a rounder, if you will.
Like
And
Matt Damon.
Basically, the Cardinals were invented because a guy owned a bar and wanted some more entertainment. That's how the Cardinals came about.
That's wild. Think
And
about that.
That's why I got a dog.
In there. There's Barb.
I was going
So
to
it-
bars and I needed more entertainment.
There
so-
it is. That's perfect. Are there any bars you won't take Barb to?
I mean, I'll take her anywhere
I agree.
that allows me to take her in.
So we've got a few people asking when Carly's next comedy show is.
I don't know yet.
Want to do Southtown in the next couple weeks?
Yeah.
We'll get Carly on a Southtown show. There's your answer, Ty. We've got Fair or Foul coming up in just a second. Gardner, anything else before we move on to that killer
I
final
think I'm
segment?
okay. I think I'm all good.
Okay.
I just wanted to get that story out there.
Travis Terrell live in New York commenting along. Let's see how we hold on to his segment while he's not here. Let's do some Fair or Foul.
At this defining moment, change has come to America.
People often ask me, what's fair or foul? Is it a segment? Is it a movement? Is it hope? I can't say for certain. Time will be a true test of its power. But I can say, Fair or Foul is now and forever for the people. Gather around the radio with your loved ones and hold on to your butts. It's now time for Fair
We give it back to you, the people.
or Foul.
We asked you about Kentucky Derby hats. Very important topic. If you write in a funny quip or a paragraph or sentence, we'll reward you if you win. $10 to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Big thanks to Tech Electronics. You see the studio, we're streaming in. Looks like a simple little Facebook. Oh, cool, they've got their camera, their flip phones broadcasting a show. No, we've got a board, cameras, station,
There's the foam things on the wall
the
to help
foam
with the
things
sound.
on the wall.
It's legit.
Don't forget the lighting installed by my man Marcus from Thoroughbred Wrestling Academy.
There's curtains that do absolutely nothing.
There's curtains that do nothing.
this place.
Big
It's
thanks.
great.
Big thanks to our friends at Tech Electronics for all the help. Be sure to check out Stacy Static. Records her podcast at Midcoast Media. That's the Static Podcast.
We will tune in.
That's right. Here we go. Talking about Kentucky Derby hats. This is from Cankles. Fair! They are better than the ass most of you wear as hats normally. It's kind of rude. Called as ass hats.
Oh.
Let's see my helmet, has he?
He has no-
Gardner has a scooter helmet.
Is
you
that
ride
for
those scooters?
I have
Do you
not
ride
ridden.
those scooters?
I haven't yet.
Do you want to shoot a video of you riding a scooter for the first time?
Yeah.
Let us put it online?
Yes.
Okay. Will you
I'll
wear
put
his
Barb.
helmet?
I'll put Barb in a backpack.
Ooh. Gardner,
What?
Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, was in here and advised Gardner to stop riding
Stop
on the
wh-
scooters
why?
because they're dangerous.
Oh.
Yeah.
It can be.
Would you advise Carly being along, Carly and Barb along on one together?
Why not? It looks like fun.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we don't have a helmet for Barb.
She's got a sombrero.
Okay, that'll do it.
Then yes.
I'll
good
I'll
enough.
find
Safe
a
enough now.
I'll find a helmet on AliExpress. Not a sponsor, but they're super cheap. It'll just take like 3 months to get in.
I love it. That's the one thing Carly remembers from radio. Me being stupid, but kind of serious about, like, hey, they don't sponsor it. Let's not. And then she took it way overboard, and I love it. It's really funny.
Well,
I'm wearing jeans. Not a sponsor.
Jeans are not a sponsor today.
like if you're asking me where I ate
I
over
combed
the
my hair with a
weekend,
comb. Not a sponsor.
I can't tell you they're not a sponsor.
I just want
every
them to
time I
know this is not paid advertising.
Was at my grandma's house eating pork roast. Pork roast, not a sponsor.
I had a joyous sandwich over the weekend.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Some radio shows are like that, like for real. Like
Yeah,
they
that's
won't.
ridiculous.
It's so silly. Derby hats are fair. If you're at the Derby, if you're just going across the border to Illinois, foul.
The border.
Ice wall is what I call it. You'll still be there with the same range of hillbillies and skull ring jeans to douchey people acting better than everyone just so your wife can wear the hat one time. Then the damn thing just sits in the basement for years collecting dust. It's got a personal vendetta against the hat, I can see. You end up moving around the basement 12 times, taking it with you to new houses as you move, wondering what the hell is this stupid round box, but can you throw it away? No! She might wear the damn thing again sometime in the next couple decades. Triangle assassin. It's a clear shot.
Yeah.
That painted an image.
Yes.
And I loved it.
I think I have like a DVD case that has made it to like through 7 moves with me, and yet I've probably lost 3 wallets in that time, and I'm just like, why do I have this? Because you stick it somewhere and you're like, oh, I won't need this, and then you pack it along.
Yep.
That'll do it for Fair or Foul today. My vote's for Triangle Assassin. Gardner?
Likewise, I'm going Triangle Assassin.
Triangle Assassin gets Carly's vote as well. Barb looks like she's in on the Assassin. That's $10 too.
It's our Illuminati.
Go on.
To Buzz's Hawaiian Grill.
Not a sponsor. Illuminati's not a sponsor.
Illuminati, well, they kind of sponsor
They
everything
could be.
if you think about it.
You're right.
Carly, where are you going in your sweatpants?
I will go anywhere in my sweatpants. I literally,
believe you.
I wore these exact sweatpants yesterday to the bars. No, I'll probably go to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. I'm gonna see where it's at today.
Oh, I think they're close to here, so you're in luck.
Cool.
Okay, what a wonderful time with you today.
It's been wonderful.
It has. We'll get you on a Southtown show soon. We
Cool.
can see Carly and Barb on stage there. And Gardner, great work today. No Travis, no problem is what I always say.
Oh.
Get that B-hole. He blocked the B-hole
There
with
it
Barb on the
is.
screen.
There it is.
Huge shout out
Hold
to
on.
Pet One St.
Oh
Louis.
my
no!
God. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh, my daughter.
Hey, can I?
Oh.
Oh wow. Oh no. Oh
that.
no.
We're not even getting paid for this.
Here,
Stop it.
come here. We don't have to pay today. That's awesome. Come here, Barb. Can I get a close-up shot before we head out? Huge shout out to Pet One St. Louis. Well, I got the.
Look at her tail.
How do I do this correctly? Barb and I getting our own shot. Finally, we're gonna do this. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe Barb will be here. Maybe she won't. Travis Terrell supposedly back tomorrow. Gardner. Mm-hmm. Okay. One more close-up, please.
Yeah.
This is Barb and Chris for We Are Live. We'll be back tomorrow on the live stream, 8 a.m. Thanks to Carly Lords. Follow her online at Carly Laughs. Big thanks to everybody for tuning in. We'll see you 8 a.m. tomorrow. Say peace.
Peace.